The storm came in off Lake Michigan like a drunk uncle, loud, wet, and impossible to ignore. Evelyn Olsen sat at her kitchen table under the yellow glow of a single oil lamp, the electricity long gone since the transformer on County Q blew at 6:12 p.m. She was 82, widowed 12 years, and still called herself Evie when no one was listening. The mail lay in a damp pile, 2 seed catalogs, a Medicare statement, and a postcard from her granddaughter in Madison showing a cow wearing sunglasses. She slit the Medicare envelope with a paring knife, the same one she used to core apples for 57 harvests. The numbers blurred. Harold had handled the money. Harold had handled everything until the heart attack took him mid-row between the Honeycrisps and the Cortlands. A knock rattled the screen door. Evie frowned. No one came up the gravel drive after dark, not since the county stopped plowing past her mailbox in winter. She wiped her hands on the apron she still wore out of habit and shuffled to the door. A man stood on the porch, soaked to the bone, city shoes ruined by orchard mud. Mid-50s, salt and pepper hair plastered to his forehead, holding a yellowed envelope like a white flag. "Mrs. Olsen?" His voice cracked from cold. "Evelyn Olsen? That's me." He thrust the envelope forward. "Daniel Brennan. My father was Tommy Brennan. This is yours." The return address was handwritten in faded ink, T. Brennan, General Delivery, Sister Bay, Wisconsin, postmarked August 14, 1964. Evie's knees buckled. She gripped the doorframe. "Come in before you drown," she said. Daniel stepped inside, dripping on the braided rug Harold's mother had made in 1951. Evie took the envelope with fingers that remembered every curve of the handwriting. She had written this letter the summer she was 19, sealed it with a kiss, and buried it in a Maxwell house under the lilac bush because her father said Tommy Brennan was no kind of future. She slid it open. The paper smelled of attic dust and lost chances. "Dearest Tommy, I count the minutes until the whistle blows at the cherry plant. Last night you played This Land Is Your Land, and I swear the stars leaned down to listen. I will meet you at the dock when your shift ends. Bring the ring, Pop. I'll bring forever. Yours, Evie." Evie's throat closed. She had never sent it. Her father had found the draft, burned every letter Tommy wrote back, and marched her down the aisle to Harold Olsen 3 weeks later. Daniel watched her face. "Dad kept it in a lockbox. Died last month. Cancer. He thought you rejected him." Evie folded the letter along its ancient crease. "Coffee?" She poured from the percolator she kept on the wood stove. Daniel wrapped his hands around the mug like a child. "Why now?" she asked. "I'm cleaning out the house in Chicago. Found the box. Googled you. Figured you deserved the truth." He hesitated. "Dad never married," said the orchard girl broke him. Evie stared into her coffee. The surface trembled with each heartbeat. Outside, the rain softened to a whisper. Daniel stayed the night in the guest room that still smelled of mothballs and the cedar chest Harold built. Evie lay awake listening to the house settle, beams creaking like old bones, the tick of the mantel clock she wound every Sunday. At 3:07 a.m. she rose, pulled on her barn coat, and walked to the lilac bush. The Maxwell house was gone, rusted away decades ago, but the earth remembered. She pressed her palm to the soil and whispered, "I'm sorry." Morning brought weak sunlight and the smell of wet leaves. Daniel stood on the porch in borrowed overalls 2 sizes too big, holding a reel-to-reel tape labeled in Tommy's handwriting, "For Evie, Door County, 64. "Where'd you find that?" Evie asked. "Attic. Behind the Christmas decorations." They carried the ancient Woollensack player to the kitchen table. Evie's hands shook threading the tape. The reel spun. A guitar note, pure and lonely, filled the room. Then Tommy's voice, 20 years old, singing a song she had never heard. "Widow's orchard, branches bare. Apple blossoms in her hair. She waits for spring that never comes. Counts the rings on every one." Evie closed her eyes. The orchard outside the window was dying, fire blight blackening the leaves, climate change pushing the frost line north. She had one season left before the bank took it or the developers did. Daniel's phone buzzed. He silenced it. "My daughter, Lily. She's 16. Wants to meet the orchard lady." Evie almost smiled. "Bring her." They spent the day in the attic. Dust motes danced in slanted light. They found a cherry-stained work shirt with TB embroidered on the pocket. A Polaroid of Evie at 19, arms around a boy with a guitar, both laughing so hard their eyes were slits. A ring pop wrapper, faded red, tucked in a matchbox. Daniel held the wrapper to the light. "He kept this?" "Your father was sentimental." That night, Evie dreamed of 1964. She was 19 again, running barefoot through the cherry rows, Tommy chasing her with a fistful of blossoms. She woke with tears on her cheeks and the taste of cherries in her mouth. The developers came on a Tuesday in September, two men in Patagonia vests with clipboards and smiles like sharks. They offered $1.2 million cash. Evie's children, Mark in Milwaukee, Susan in Minneapolis, called within the hour. "Mom, it's enough to live like a queen in assisted living. Think of the grandkids' college funds." Evie hung up without promising. Daniel's daughter Lily arrived Friday, all purple hair and combat boots, filming everything on her phone. She interviewed Evie for a school project, Oral Histories of Door County Women. The clip went viral overnight, 82-year-old widow singing a lost love song under dying apple trees. By Monday, #WidowsOrchard trended. A GoFundMe titled "Save Evie's Trees" hit $87,000 in 48 hours. Evie stood in the orchard at dusk, pruning shears in hand. The blight had taken half the Cortlands, but the Honeycrisps still clung to hope. She grafted science from a resistant rootstock she'd ordered from Geneva, New York, her hands steady despite arthritis. Daniel built a small stage from pallets under the oldest apple tree, the one Tommy used to climb to pick the highest fruit for her. Lily strung fairy lights. The Harvest Festival was set for the last Saturday in September. Evie sent invitations on paper doilies, pick your own apples. Music. Pie. Bring a chair and a memory. 500 people came. They parked along County Q, walked the gravel drive with coolers and toddlers and dogs. Children chased each other through the rows while grandparents bought cider from a booth Lily ran. A bluegrass band from Sturgeon Bay played "Will the Circle Be Unbroken?" Spring 2026. The orchard bloomed defiant, new grafts heavy with pink buds. Evie, 83 next month, planted a sapling with Lily while Daniel tuned guitars for the first concert of the season. The sign at the gate read, "Tommy's Tune Orchard, EST 1964, Reborn 2025. Evie pressed her palm to the fresh soil. "Tell Tommy I kept the promise." A breeze moved through the branches, carrying the faint sound of a guitar note, pure and lonely, then gone. The moral of the widow's last harvest is: some promises outlive the people who make them, and the bravest thing an old heart can do is keep singing the song it buried 60 years ago.